Hello and welcome, guys, to our new stream. You're joining me, Raed, and with me, Anas. Today we will be showing you how to build, how to how we will show you. We will walk around the new features that we have in Nowa 1.5. So yes, sorry for being a bit late. We were experiencing some difficulties with the stream and with the connection, but now everything is good. So yeah, now I will be opening Nowa. Yes, and let's create a new project together. We call it Nowa 1. Let's call it live stream. Great. All right, and we will start with the login screen. We've heard a lot of requests for showing how to make login screen with Firebase and to connect it with Google Authentication. And we will start by showing you that. So I'll start adding an empty screen here. And we will start by putting around some title. This is the login page. Play around with the design a little bit. Here maybe put the font size to 44 and making this to be auto, so it will take the same size as the text. We can also here select one of the fonts that we have from Google. For example, this one looks nice. All right, and then we can start with the text field directly to add the functionality. So add this one will be for the username, and we can change the look and feel for the text field by adding decoration. And here I can add some hint text. For example, this will be the email, or enter email, for example. And then I can also add an icon. I can click on this button to modify the icon. So this one will be an email icon, simple one. All right, this looks good. I also would like to change the border to have it outlined border instead of underlined. So something like that would be great. Now, with 4 border radius, 4 pixels of border radius, this looks great for me. And now I can start adding some functionality to it. I can look at the variables here. So once I added this text field, it automatically connects it with this text variable that I can use. If I go to the variables, I can see a text variable already added. So I can modify it here. I've modified the name of the variable. So I say email controller, because it's like the type of it is a text editing controller, which we will use later to get the email. So once we have that, we can also copy paste it by holding Alt and dragging out another one. And this one will be for the password. So first of all, I can rename this to be password. Wait a minute. Password. And this one, it went back to being text, so I'll just name it email. All right. And go back to details panel. See, this is password. Enter password. And the icon also, I'll give it a key to represent the password. Alright,
All right, Joe, just before Ride continues, I just want to add one thing. First of all, I'm so happy, guys, that you're here. We're really happy that we're doing this live stream. For the questions, if anyone have a question about what Ride is doing at the moment, please ask in the chat bot. I'm reading it, so if any question appeared, I will tell Ride about it and we can answer your question. If your question is not related to what Ride is doing now, we will keep it in the end, because in the end we have 15 minutes Q&A. And that's it. So let's get going.
Yes, thank you, Anas, for this welcome.
Okay, there was someone who asked, can we get rid of that line in the text box?
Yes. So we did it. It's just now it's a border instead of the underline. Awesome. So we have the email, we have the password, and the password, of course, when we try to play it, okay, I'm testing it with an iPad. Let's go back to something more familiar. Let's say iPhone 14, and let's flip it. Yeah, when I write the password here, it says it adds the normal characters. I wanted to show these dots instead. So what I can do is I can go to the password and I can go to this obscure text. When I check this one, it will hide the password, and I can still write the text here. All right, and let's see something. Let's look at the design for this one. So the width and the height for the text field. The width is set to 255. We can control the width to the way we want, but I would like to make it a bit more responsive, so I will group both of them together. So this will create a group, and then I will make them a column. So by doing so, I have a more responsive design. There's like 32 pixels between them, which is exactly what I want. And in terms of the height, I would like it to be auto, because and then the width of the text field itself, I would like to expand it also for this one, and this allows it to be more responsive. The width would be depends on the group width, and the height will also be, I want it to be auto, so it can change depending on what happens with the text field. So it will take the exact same size of the text field. So if I add something else to the group, the group itself will expand. All right. So this is all good, and everything is going great. Okay, I think there's a small issue with the naming of the variables. It keeps changing, but okay, for now we can keep it like this. We will also release a hotfix after this video. Also now, today we released a version like 1.5.1, which fixes some of the issues that we were having with Firebase. So if you have the older one, please refresh or update if you are on the macOS or desktop versions to get the newer version. Also, we will release a hotfix with the issues that we will see today, if we see any issues. And all right, let's add the button to sign in. So add just a regular button here, and we'll say sign in, or we can start also with the sign up button, but yeah, let's keep it at the sign in. And yeah, for now, if you go to the circuit and you see here, you don't see anything related to Firebase, anything related to sign in. You cannot see it right now. You have to enable first Firebase. So from the settings, you go to the Firebase, and first of all, I have to connect it to my account. It will take some time. Yeah, so if there's any questions while it's connecting, we can check them.
No, so far all good. We don't have any question about what you did. Guys, if you have any question, please ask. I'm looking into all the questions. I can stop him if needed.
All right, perfect. This is my development account. I can come here. Okay, so I have this. Okay, never mind this. So it's connecting now to my Firebase app. I just have to click this button, it will create for me automatically an Android app, iOS app, and web app for Firebase. It matches them to my Nowa project, and once it's done, it will be connected to all of these platforms. Also, we're working on support for macOS. But for now, it's connected. Now I have to enable authentication, just like that. Boom, it's enabled in the project, and I can check the providers. So for now, we're working on email and password, so I can click this one, and also we can try the Google one. Now everything is set up perfectly. You can see here the providers. You can see what's enabled, and once that's ready, let's go to the circuit again, and we can see this Firebase section now, which will have all the functionality that we need for Firebase. So for now, we want to use sign in with email and password, and we can try that out. It says, okay, what email do you want to use? We can grab the email that we entered here. So the variable that is connected here is called text. We tried to change it, but there was a bug there. So the text, get the text controller. From this controller, we can do a bunch of things. We can clear, for example, the text field. We can get the text itself, which will have the data that the user inputs. And we can also see all the other functions that we have here. So let's get the text for now. And also for the password, the same thing. We get the text, the other text, and we will get the value of it. And just like that, we have sign with email and password. We can try it out directly without entering anything. You can click sign in. You will get this preview sign in window. This is only a preview to create account. To run the real one, use a simulator or real device. So this one just a preview because you cannot actually sign in with Firebase in this simulator or this on the previewer. And if you want to go forward, you can click test with fake user, and this will go forward. And if you want to test the error screen, you can go with the other option, test error signing up. And you can handle these cases by handling one of these two options. So if you want to handle the success case, go to the on value. In the on value, we can, for example, go to the next page. So we can just simply create a home page, let's say, in our application. So home page. And once the user logs in here, it will go to the home page. So this is on value. It only goes there when it logs in successfully. So we can go and we can safely say navigate to the home page. Once that's done, we can also try it out. So sign in, test with fake user, it goes into the home page. And I can also write a welcoming text. So let's say hi, and then I wanna bring the username here. So I can do it by trying to see if I have the username. So I have the current user here. So I can connect it from here, but if I want to connect it inside the string itself, I can put a $sign. This will give me this link menu again, but I can add the variable inside the text instead of covering the whole text. And here I can get the current user. And after the current user, wait a minute, I have the current user, and then I can get the name of the user, but for some reason I cannot see it. Yeah, if I do it from here, I can see exactly the name of the variable. So here I have the display name or email. So I can try to get the email, for example. So it will just show me this. If I want to say hi and this, and then the email, I can do the same thing again, detach, and then maybe say hi, and then Firebase, current user, and then at the end, dot email. Oh wait, it's not playing. I can also try it from here. Email. Yep. Alright, hi, and then email. Then I can also put exclamation mark. And this is the exact same code that you will see inside the generated code. And yeah, you can edit it by double clicking on this, and you can edit the code from here, or you can also change, if you click on this email, you can also see everything inside of it. You can see the email, display name, you can see also, you can get other things like the ID of the user, maybe you want to get the phone number. But for now, we can try to get the username, for example, but just with the fake user, it will not show up in this previewer. But you have to keep in mind that if you log in with Firebase with email and password, you will not have a display name. You will not have a username because if the user didn't enter a if they didn't create an account, if they didn't create a name, it will not have a display name. But if you connect with Google, let's try to connect with Google. Yep.
All right, so just before we jump into the next section, we have some questions that we would like to answer. So first of all, there's a question from Ragan, if I read your name correctly. It's possible to do the same thing with Superbase instead of Firebase. So now in Superbase, we only have the database itself. The authentication is not there yet, but it's also will be coming in the future. And another question, do you have... Yes, do we have a tutorial for setting up the user accounts? So with this option, now we made the login page, but there's another page you have to create, which is the sign up page. In the same way exactly, you can also make a sign up page so the user itself can create an account, and then with that account will be automatically created on your database inside the Firebase authentication, and then you can click in. We can actually maybe show how to do the sign up page so your users can create an account before they even log in. And the last thing I want just to talk about is that in the previewer, it's not possible to show, because of the way like the authentication work for security reasons, we cannot show that inside the previewer. But if you connect your phone to your laptop and you use the hot reload or use an emulator, or when you deploy your app and install it on the phone, it will work perfectly. But the only situation it will not work, which is inside the previewer inside Nowa. So we can just show you the function that that you can use to make the sign up page, and then with that you will be good to go.
Yeah, and before we move on to the next to log in with Google, we can also add some validation to this form. So for now, if you enter any, so if I just click sign in, it will directly work. But in a real application, you don't want that. You want to validate if this is a valid email or not. To do that, we can go to the group and make a form, add a form widget. And this will give me these two validators, the text validator and the text one, which corresponds to the email and the password. So the first one is the text, the email. I add a validator. So by adding a validator, this field is required. It has to be there. So I can also change the message. So if I click sign in, okay, nothing will happen because I didn't use the validator. The way I use it, I can go to the circuit, and it will automatically give me a form key. And this form key, I can get it. And then from this, I can get the state, and I can validate. So by calling the validate function, I can check. So this validate function gives me a boolean. So the way you can know that is with this color that is kind of an orange color. Yes, and this is it indicates that this node outputs some data. And the way it works is that you can add an if statement, and with the if statement you can hook it up with the condition. So now we can say that if the form is valid, then do continue. If it's not valid, then it will automatically show the error on the screen. So we can try this out. We can hook the if statement here, and yes, for some reason also this one is not allowing me to drag and drop it to the then. So I can add it again. So this one will be the sign in with email and password, and again the text and the text, add it to the email, and the text one with the text, add it to the password. All right, so now the logic is correct. It will only show me this the sign with email and password if it's valid, if the form is valid. And now on value, we also want to navigate to the screen, to the other screen. This logic was removed when I removed the node, so this one will go to the home screen. Amazing. Now we can try that again and sign up. This says field is required. You see it, the field looks weird now, and this is because it has a height. It has a fixed height. So that's why I wanted to make everything to be automatic. Auto, and this one also auto, and the whole group to be auto. So when the error shows up, it will expand naturally. And I can also add the sign in to the group, so it will also go down with everything else. Yeah, like this, I could do it. So sign in. Yep, amazing. So this field is required, amazing. So I can add something and I click it again, it works. But now I also want to add more validation to this so that so I can access the validation if I click on the text field itself. Here the text field options. If I scroll down at the end, there's a validator. I can expand it and I can add a validator. I have all of these options. There's the email one. You can just click it. It says invalid email, and now it's empty. Gives me the field is required. I don't know if it's very clear because it's small, but if I click now, it says invalid email, and I can also change the message from here. And I can also do the same thing for the password. So I have this validator, field is required, add a validator. I would add a minimum length validator. So the password is usually like 6 characters long for my use case, let's say. And for now, everything is ready to go. So I have an email. If I write an invalid email, it tells me you have to write a valid one. So if I write a valid one, it goes away. Also for the password, if I write a short password, tells me too small or too, you can change it to too short, or if you want to add a different text. And if I write a long password, it just shows up.
Awesome. Awesome. Until now, I can't see any new questions, so we're good to go. But I would suggest if we can show how to make a sign up page quickly, or at least the function of the sign up.
Yeah, all right. For the sign up page, we can also do a copy for this page. So keep in mind when you copy paste screens or components on the board, it actually copies the exact page. So this is another instance of this page. So if I, for example, move something, it moves it on both pages. So if I want to create a new one, I have to detach this one. And the way I do it is by right click, I detach this one. I will lose all the variables, so it will create some problems, but I can create them again when I make a new component out of this or a new screen. So we will call it the sign up page, let's say, submit, and now it's giving me some issues because the form key is not found, and it's a variable that is automatically created, and because if it's automatically created, I can just drag it out and drag it in again. It will work also for this one, yeah. And this one should also work if I drag it out.
The text.
Yeah, now the text variable is not there, so I can also create this one. I can create it manually too if I want to. So yeah, let's do that. So this one we'll call it text, and this will be a text editing controller, and the same thing for the other one. So it will be text one with text editing controller.
So I just wanna to add some points, just if some of you didn't understand. If you use Alt and you drag anything you see on the screen, it doesn't create a copy. It creates an instance, meaning they always connected to the same thing. So you have to detach it. Now, of course, you can do it the same way as we did it now, or you can simply just drop a new screen and that's it, and you don't need to worry about reattaching the variables again, and that's it.
So we're not making the most beautiful design here, but at least we're showing the functionality. And also here I can say like, oh, go to the sign up page. I can also give it auto width and height, and this one, let's call it sign up page. All right. And the only difference is with this button, okay, the validator will stay the same, but here instead of sign in with Google with email and password, I will use sign up with email and password, and I will use the exact same procedure. I'll get the variables from the right click menu and I'll connect them, and the same thing with the other one with the password. And also on value we can go to the next page, for example, which will be the home page in this case. So navigate to the home page, And this one, to hook it up, we can just add a gesture detector to this one, so we can on tap navigate to the sign up page.
Gesture detector is just something you can do to make anything on the screen clickable. So if you wrap any widget with the gesture detector, you can simply add tabbing functionality to it. So we did this now to make this text clickable.
Yeah, and because I also want the same thing to happen on the second screen, I can also alt drag this one, and now it disappeared. Okay, it appeared again. Go to the sign up page. This one will say, wait, oh fuck. Alright. This will say go to the sign in page. And I will change this to be empty because we didn't change the name of the sign in page. Alright, and this is the home screen, so when I start, this one will be the first screen that will play in the previewer. And if I want to start from this one, I can also make this the home screen. But for now, I start from this one, I can go to the other one, and I can put the email that I want. I have the email, the password. Alright, maybe the sign up button is not connected properly here, or maybe the variables are not hooked up. Properly. Yeah, the validator, there's a problem with the validators. Wait, let me just remove the validators for now. Oh, this one is working. The other screen. Yeah, well, now when we remove the validator, it works. You can also add them again if you want to, but let's just keep it at that. Alright, amazing. Now we can add it. So now create account preview. This is also the same previewer that we had for the sign in. And we can test with the fake user. It will also go to the home page. So yeah, this covers more or less the main parts of the flow of the authentication for Firebase.
Yeah, maybe now we can see the sign in with Google, for example.
Yeah, the sign with Google, we can just connect it to one function, which is sign in with Google. And we have the same thing here. We can have can do something when it on value, when it succeeds, and something on error when it fails. And on value, we can do the same as we did before, which is navigate to the home page.
Yeah, it's even way easier than the sign in with email.
All right. So yeah, if nobody has any questions, we can go to the Firestore. We can start playing around with Firestore.
Oh, we have a good question. So someone asked that if the app opens up on the login page once a user is signed in and we open the app, how it will know to navigate them to the straight to the home page without going to the login page again.
Yes. So in this case, this kind of logic can be made inside the first screen of your app. For example, this is the home screen. You can check if the user is signed in or not using the current user, and you can see if the current user is there or not. You can check that, and if there is a current user, then you can go to the home page, and we can do that in the start of the application. This is something that we didn't cover in the documentation yet, but it's you can do it now in the circuit. if you go to the function and you call a function in its state, you can run something when the application starts or when the page initially starts. And in this case, we can do this logic. We can go to Firebase, go to the current user, and it looks a bit weird, but we can also check. We can do an if statement and see if it's null. So if it's null, we can bring an if statement, and wait a minute. Or we can also make it current user. We can check if it's equal null, and then we can use this logic to check, to do something. If it's null, if it's null, then it should go to it should not do anything because we are already on the login page. If it's not null, then there is a user. Then we can go. Then we can navigate to the next page.
Yeah. Now just want to adjust small things. Yeah. It looked weird in the node, but this is like a small thing. We will work on it. The thing is, anything we see that it looks weird, we will fix it and release it, hopefully in the next day. So anything you see now, we comment on it that it shouldn't be like that. It will be fixed within a day. For the person who asked how we can test this on the live account, it's already live, so you can go and do the same steps on the live account. Now, if you want to test this, you mean like to test the login and the sign-in, not the previewer, then use an emulator. If you have the desktop version, just connect it to an emulator and you can test the real functionality of it, or to your real phone. If you want, just go to YouTube and there's a video that explains how to set up the desktop version. It will help you to test that in a real life.
Yes, and also we are working on expanding the previewer functionality. So there are limitations. For example, login with Google. It's a bit problematic to preview it inside the previewer, but for the email and password, we can actually make the previewer work, and we can make it show the actual sign in. We can make it actually sign in. But yes, for this, as Anna said, it's better to use an emulator, or it's better to actually build the app to actually test it.
Just one thing I want to add, guys. There is a latency between the stream and me reading the question. So if you like write a question, we might answer it after a few of minutes until we see it, and because of the latency. So now we go up to the next section, which is Firestore. So yeah, let's start.
Yeah, let's try out the Firestore features. So now once we have Firebase connected, you can go to the Firestore data source, and it will open this Firestore editor. And from here you can start adding collections. You can also start adding queries. For the collection, for this application we were experimenting with, let's say, an e-commerce application, so we can start adding, for example, a products database. So once we create a collection, this will not create a collection right away in Firebase. It will create the model here, and it will actually create the collection on the first time you use this collection. So this demo, I have it. I don't have anything in it. So this is the Firebase console in it that I am using right now. And for Firestore, I also have to enable it, I think. Also for authentication, I would need to enable it. So let's try that out. Start in test mode, so we don't have to worry about authentication. and we can add some parameters here. So let's say product name. Can add an image. And we can try to get a query. So when I go to the queries, I have this query builder, and here I can add, for example, I can add a product, I can get the products, I can do some queries on the product. But for now, let's just add a button to add the product, and create function. I will need to call it a name. Okay, add the product. Awesome. So this is my first query that I have, and as you see, it has a function to add the product, but it doesn't. I cannot exactly select the product that I want to add. So I can here, for example, okay, this. I think this is the old version that yeah, there's a problem with renaming, but we fixed it. But here I can get the products. So here, as you can see in the type of the variable here, the collection type that we added a collection called products, and it will show up in all the software. So whenever I want to create a variable, I can also make the type of that variable to be of type products, and this way we can use it anywhere in the software. So for example, if we want to create some UI for it, so I want to create a component that has a text which will have the product name or the product title and the image of the product. I can create this component, group them together, make this a product tile, for example, or product view. And the cool thing is that we can add a parameter. So we've been working with variables for the entire time. Here we can see here we have some variables. These are things that are changing inside this screen. So the form is something that is only accessible inside the screen. We use it inside the screen. Also the texts, things that are connected to the inputs, things that can change when the user type. But parameters are things that you want to use as an input for this widget. For example, this one, it will take the product information, the name and the image from outside. So the way you input this data is by adding a parameter. So this parameter, for example, will be the product, and it will be of type products. And here there's a default value, so we can have like a default value for default name, and the image we can keep it empty. And now once I have this, I can connect it to the UI. So I can connect this text to the product name, so it will give me the default name. And also for the image, I can come here, can add an image, can put the URL to come from the product, the image. So now I have this one which accepts product, and I can make multiple copies of this component, and I can give each one of them different products. For example, this one, I can have like a different name, a different image for each one of those, and these are the building blocks that we will use if we want to display a list of products inside our homepage. And let's see if Firebase finished enabling. Okay, let's try to see if it's working here. Okay, now I enabled Firestore. Also, I think it's a good idea if I check authentication if it's enabled or not. from any place I want. And for testing purposes, I can just add a new parameter from here. I can add for example test, and with the test
just
image.
a second.
Yes.
They say that it's muted.
Is it working now?
No, we need to.
Sound off.
Wait, I'll check if there's if everything is okay with YouTube. Guys, if you can listen to us, just it's back now, but we missed everything from the 2 minutes ago. Okay, now it works.
Okay, so if it to cover what was happening in the last 2 minutes quickly. So we have the Firestore queries. There's this query that I made that will add a product. So Firebase Firestore.instance.collection, and we pick the collection that we want to add a product to, which is the products collection. And then the add, it was empty between the brackets, and then to add the parameter that you want to the product that you want to add, you can select it from here. Now this one is a parameter that I added from these list of parameters, and you can think of these as inputs for this query. So I want to run this query, I want to give it a product, and it will put this product in the database. So now I have this button which will add product, let's say, and I connected it with add product query, which is the same name as the query that I made, and the input it took was the parameter. So I have here a test parameter. So usually here you could get these data from an input field, a text field, or maybe you want to put you want to get something from a variable, or you want to put it hard coded yourself. But just for testing, we can put some values ourselves. We can put an image link. So let's just search Google for any image for any product, let's say. Alright, I can copy the address of this image and just put it here as a test. Wait, no, this is not the link that I'm looking for. Of an image. Alright. Alright, awesome. And we also have the on value on error to see, to do some actions if the product is correctly added or not. So yeah, we have this part set up correctly, and we can try it out here. We can also start from this page by going to make this a home screen. So yeah, if I add the product, now we cannot see anything because we didn't query the product, but inside Firebase I can go check if it works. And yeah, we don't have any collection yet. Yeah, maybe because it's doing the preview mode. We can also try to do the query to get the products first. So this one, I add a new query, also the product. So this one will get the products, and this will call it get products. And I will put them in a list view. Connect the children to, wait, I'll first add a data builder. So yeah, the way it works here, everything that has a backend, a data source, whether it's API, Superbase, Firebase, it needs to load. It needs a data builder. Then the data builder will select the source that you want to get the data from. For in this case, it's Firestore, and then we will get the products. Yes, get the products. And now once this data builder wrapper is added to anything, it will make the data, it will go get the data from Firebase, and then it will make it available to the widget that we're using. So this widget is the list view. So here the children, I want to connect the children to the data that we're getting from Firestore, so this data, and then the documents. So it will create for me a list of documents based on the products that I have. And also if I expand this, I will have this placeholder that is visible on the screen. And if I want to connect it to the widget that I have, I can search for the component, which is product view, and then I will see the product view. And yep, now it's working. The only issue here is that the only issue is that if I click on the product view, the product is not connected to anything. So I can connect it to Firebase by coming to the element that we get. So this element will be different for each item. So I connect it to the element and to the data of the element, and now this data will bring me the actual product from Firebase. And let's see. If this is working, it says null. Check operator. I'm not exactly sure what's the cause of this problem. Get products again. Yeah, in the first second it gives me this error, but then when I move the screen it works again. No, not add product, get products. Yeah. Yeah, well, this is a problem with the previewer. It's not loading it correctly. But this...
What if you close the project and open it again? Might work.
I don't think that's the problem. Permission, insufficient permissions. I wonder if this... Oh yeah, allow read write if false. So this one is disabling any reads and writes from Firebase side. Alright, let's try it again. Alright, now it works. It doesn't show up anything because we don't have anything in the database, but if I add a product, now actually I should see it. Yeah, now we have a product. Yeah, now things are working. And now if I play it again, it should give me the product. Yep, everything is working now. And I can connect it up to the product again, to the, not the image, but the product name, and this one to the image. To the product image. Yep. Now it was test, and the image, it didn't load up. Yeah, now it's loading the image. Yeah, now everything is working correctly. I don't know what's why is this not showing up the preview, but in the simulator it works. Now if I add like multiple products to this and I open it again, it should fetch all the products and put them in the list. But the list view, yeah, okay. Let me check the Firestore, the products, queries, get products, products. Yeah, now we have all of these products, but it's only showing up one of them. So, alright, so far this, there is some issues with connecting the Firestore, and yeah, we can keep working on we can keep working on this issue, and we can release a hotfix for this one. And if there's any questions that we can answer today.
Let me just read. If you want, you can keep going. I will just read the questions and I will see if we need to stop at anything. A lot of them are for the end, so
yeah, it's been almost an hour now, and we can keep going a little bit, but I think these issues we can also make a follow-up live stream with these issues closed. So we can do a QA and answer the questions, and then after that, maybe next week we can do a follow-up live stream with these issues resolved. And also we can talk maybe a little bit about APIs, because a lot of people asked about APIs.
all right, guys, if you have any question, now we start the QA. We will do another live stream. Now we will try to make it much more, so because we know that we need more, let's say, tutorials, so you can learn more how to actually use Nowa, to unlock all the power that it has. So we will do much more of the live streams now. Also, a lot of more tutorials coming, a new version of the documentation coming. So hopefully learning how to use Nowa will become way easier. We've been listening to all your feedback and we're working on it hardly to make you all learn Nowa easier than before. But we will wait to see if there's some questions. But of course, there's some latency, so this might affect. We will wait a little bit to see that. But I was reading about the comments that you guys doing. So just like we want to put our own also like opinion in the whole conversation of, we know that Nowa is not the easiest to use, and this is because we want to make you able to customize as much as code. So the drawback of like advanced customization comes that it won't be as easy to use as, let's say, a simple app builder that allows you to build some basic app that you can, like, with 2-3 clicks go out with the app. Of course, that solution is easier, but we actually, ourselves included, we've been developers and we're looking for to like stay away from the code and use a visual builder because it helps us to be more creative and like not deal with the coding issues like 90% of the time. But we didn't want to lose any ability to customize or the quality. So this is what we aim for. It's not for everybody. It's for the people who want to build an app with the same customization level as code, but they don't want to like keep dealing with the code. That's what Nowa is targeted for. Now, also we still have some issues to work on. We also gonna release a lot of new versions in the next months. We will make it also easier to use. So there is some parts that are not that easy to use. We're also aware of that, and we're gonna work on it. So this is, I just wanted to point out this for the people in the chat comments, because I was reading your questions about that. So can you build a long streams of popular use case to help us learn? Yes, sure. So next time we will try to do an e-commerce app. We will do like the part of like showing the products, adding the products to our cart, going to checkout. So this will be the use case for the next live stream, hopefully. And also from now on, we will focus a lot on releasing more videos that covers like real use cases. Okay, so let's see if there's any question. Can we use Google Sheets as a data source? Now, as I know, Google Sheets have an API. So you can use any servers that provide an API to do that. So Google Sheets also included. We have a tutorial about using Airtable. So using Google Sheets will be the same. The only thing is like you have to just check out the documentation of Google Sheets of how to use their API. Let's see also if there is any other question. Okay, so far okay, for the person who asked that I'm able to connect Google Sheets, but I'm not able to get the information or data to display on the app. So I just want to check, because when you go to the API documentation, just try to, first of all, you need to add an authentication, like a token to the header, so you can be authorized to access the data. If you don't do that, you will not be able to load the data. And yeah, if you would like to share exactly where are you stuck in our community or in Discord, we can work with you, because now I don't have enough context, so I cannot give you like something helpful. But if you share the problem with us later, we will check it out for sure. Okay, so I think how can we add data field in Superbase? So we have a Superbase tutorial already. Now the thing is, also, since you already put this up, Superbase is actually in beta. We have it right now, so it's not production ready. So we will work on making it production ready, and we already have a tutorial about it. In one tutorial we release on our YouTube channel. We're gonna release more when we make it actually stable. There's a small problem with Superbase, so I would advise to use it just for prototyping, but not for production ready at this moment. Okay, so we will stay for like okay, I think that's all for now. We don't want to make it very long for all you guys. We will do much more of those live streams in the next week, so we will have a chance to meet again. And again, if you have any question later, send us an email or use our community, which is community.nowa.dev, to post anything, and we will be there for you. Now, we know that in the last weeks, the whole team was actually traveling to participate in some events, so we were not that much online. That's why our response were not that fast. But hopefully, starting from tomorrow, actually, the whole team is back, so If you post anything there, we will reply to you as fast as possible. Okay, the push notification. So because we got asked these questions a lot, for the notification, guys, so now we don't have it yet. The way to do it is by writing code, but we have a plan to implement it as the same way as we did for Firebase, for authentication. Hopefully in the next few weeks to a month, maybe a little bit more, we can have the push notification ready. Will the tutorial be updated to show the variable parameter design? Yes, the tutorials we have now are outdated in the section of the variables and the parameters because we changed the whole system recently. But I would advise you to go to the documentation. We did update the documentation section about the local variables, the parameters, and also the global, how to use the global variables. So if you want to learn about them, go for the documentation. But of course, a lot of new video tutorials are coming where we're gonna show how to use the new system of the variables and the parameters. Okay, guys, wait, let me see if I have one last question. I want to create a SaaS that connects an API A and B for tasks as displaying tables with API A data syncing to API B, receiving it, updates data from API B and sending it back to API. So what you're looking for is actually not something you do usually on the front end. It's something you do in the back end. You want to do like an automation. You want to connect multiple APIs together. You need a server that's always running and doing those, connection between the API. So that's not something Nowa can do because Nowa we only focus on the front end of the mobile apps or like web apps or desktop apps. But what you're looking for is like more of a no-code backend solution. Maybe take a look at Google Cloud Functions. You might be able to do that with them. When are you going to make the screens responsive? Like if I change the artboard size, it does. The artboard size, it doesn't fit. So the screen is responsive. Maybe we can show a quick example.
Yeah, but there's a different things we can do with the responsive design. For now, you can make a responsive layout in the sense that when you change the size of the screen, things can look right. So instead of having it floating around, we can have it to be stuck to the left and right, for example. But the thing that we don't have now, or it's a bit more complicated to do, is that if you want to have different layouts and different screen sizes, for example, if you have an iPad sort of screen size and you want, instead of having this instead of having it as a list, maybe you want to have like two lists next to each other. And this kind of responsive design is currently you cannot really do it in Nowa right now. We are trying to let's say have the functionality ready for it. So from as of now, you can come here in the globals and you can see this media query thing. You can get the size of the screen. So I can get the size of the screen, and then I can get from the size I can see the width and the height. For now, it's not the best. For now, it doesn't really work the way you expect it. So, but we're adding the necessary, let's say, bits for it to function, and yeah, maybe in the future we can make the whole workflow or the whole process of making this sort of functionality easier.
All right, so okay, just one last thing. So this will be the last thing. If you click on the database setting or folder organization or keyboard, icons will open up on top of each other. UX wise is wrong. Show one module at a time. Well, yes, yeah, that's this can actually be easier. For the thing is, when you click on the settings or the database, we show as a pop-up. So if you have multiple pop-ups, they will show up of each other. Of course, we can make it easier that you can show one at a time, and then when you click, it can update. We still, guys, Nowa is still early version so far. We still have a lot of improvements going to be coming on the way. We're also always looking for your feedback. So, guys, in general, if you got any feedback regarding any part, please, inside Nowa, you have 2 buttons on the top. There is feedback and there is report. So if you see anything, just send us a feedback or report it, and we always look into it and we always take it into consideration. Thanks a lot, guys, for your